Stories of American Presidents of November 1957 presents the story of Andrew Jackson, January 8, 1815. The British are swarming ashore at New Orleans. Then the Redcoats meet a hard-riding, iron-fisted southern frontier. His men call him Old Hickory. Born in North Carolina in 1767, Andrew Jackson was raised in poverty and hardship. At 13, he and two brothers joined the Continental Army and fight the British at Hanging Rock. Take good aim, Andy. Later, at Waxhaw Church, Jackson and his friends try to surround some British troops, but fail, and... "We've got them all, sir, but what do we do with the young'un? He fights like a demon." "Take him to my headquarters. I'll tame him." "All right, my little rebel. Clean the mud from my boots. I'm an American. I'll black no boots for a British lobsterback." "You little ragamuffin! I'll teach you your place." Young Andy is thrown into a prison camp, but they cannot break his defiant spirit. "We'll never beat these Americans. Even their children fight us tooth and nail." The revolution wipes out Jackson's family, but with stubborn grit, and in spite of his meager education, he takes up the study of the law. As a lawyer, Jackson rises rapidly, serving in various political offices in the frontier country. His fiery temper often leads him into pistol duels. During the War of 1812, the Creek Indians raided through the South. Andrew Jackson, commanding the Tennessee Volunteers, defeats the Creeks at Tahopeka. "Keep firing. We got them cut off and surrounded." And in May of 1814, "And in recognition of your services, you are hereby appointed Major General in the regular United States Army." Hurrah, Frandy! A few months later, at Jackson's headquarters, "A special dispatch, sir, from the Secretary of War." A British naval squadron is sailing for New Orleans with 10,000 men aboard. We're ordered to stop them. "But, General, they outnumber us 2-1. "Gentlemen, if the British capture New Orleans, they'll control the Mississippi and hold the future of the West in their hands." "You're right, General. I'll have the men strike camp at once." Meanwhile, aboard the British flagship, "Lieutenant, you ought to sail for the island of Barataria, just south of New Orleans. Deliver this letter to Jean Lafitte." "Lafitte? But, sir, he is a pirate." "Who cares? Lafitte has 1,000 men. This letter may persuade him to help us take New Orleans." "I understand." At the pirate's stronghold, "Arr! So, your general offers me 30,000 pounds and a commission in the British Navy, merely to help him take New Orleans. A most generous offer. Tell him he will have my answer soon." "Thank you, Monsieur Lafitte." but soon, at General Jackson's camp. Why didn't you accept their offer, Lafitte? Because we are Americans, General. We want to help you defend New Orleans. All we ask in return is a full pardon. Lafitte, you're a sly rogue, but I like your spirit. I accept your offer. I'll get in touch with the president at once. Thank you. My men are expert cannoneers. We could assist you with your artillery. And so, when the British land at New Orleans, Andy Jackson and his men are ready. Frontiersmen, soldiers, pirates, all fight side by side for their country. They're in retreat. Drive them into the sea. We got them licked. They're falling back. We couldn't lose with Andy Jackson in command. He's as tough as hickory. Because news spreads slowly, the victory at New Orleans comes 15 days after the war was over. But Jackson is a national hero. Hurrah for old Hickory! After leading a campaign against the hostile Seminole Indians, Jackson became governor of the Florida Territory. In 1824, he runs for president. The vote is close. You have 90 electoral votes, sir, more than any other candidate. But by law, that's still not enough to win. The election must be decided by the House of Representatives. Because of the complicated voting laws, Jackson is defeated by John Quincy Adams. And we hereby declare John Quincy Adams. Jackson should have been elected. He was the people's choice. But by 1828, many states had changed their voting laws, and after a fierce campaign, Andrew Jackson is elected to the highest office of the land. Hurrah for Andy Jackson! 3 cheers for old Hickory! Jackson's wife, Rachel, died soon after the election, and the new president comes to Washington, tired and low in spirit. Look at him. He's pale as a ghost. You think he'll get over it? I fought under him at New Orleans. When Andy's got a job to do, he'll do it. After his inauguration, the capital swarms with farmers, mechanics, and frontiersmen who have come to see their hero sworn in. Mr. President, we've got to do something. They're trampling the carpets, climbing over chairs, ruining the curtains. Do something. Aren't you forgetting? This all belongs to them, the people. Faugh! This country's going to the dogs. Look at that. What else would you expect with that border savage Jackson in office? With the help of Martin Van Buren, his Secretary of State, Jackson begins to fire federal officers. To the victor belongs the spoils, they say. I guess that's why I'm being fired after 20 years in office. With your accounts thousands of dollars short, you dare to talk of spoils? This is bad, Mr. President. The newspapers are accusing you of giving federal jobs to your friends. As long as I'm president, I want only honest men who support my policies. Troubles come fast for Jackson. Southern states threaten to ignore federal laws. This new tariff law is an outrage. As senator from South Carolina, I tell you this law is null and void. within the borders of my states. Mr. President, South Carolina is deadly serious about ignoring the tariff. There is even talk the state may leave the Union. Van Buren, I assure you, I will preserve the Union at all costs. And Jackson keeps his word. When South Carolina stops collecting import duties, Jackson sends a naval fleet to Charleston in a show of strength. It looks like Andy Jackson means business. Those men of war are mighty convincing. Reckon the tax collector won't have any trouble collecting custom duties now. Meanwhile, America is on the move. Turnpikes and railroads are pushing the frontier westward. And steamboats begin to crowd rivers and lakes with the commerce of the rapidly expanding country. Businessmen begin to buy up western land. I've got a chance to buy 2,000 acres of government land at $1.25 an acre. Can you lend me the money? Take it and welcome. The Bank of the United States is printing more banknotes every day. Then suddenly, the boom ends and the country faces hard times. But you always gave me credit before. You've got to lend me some money to pay my bill, or I'll go bankrupt. Sorry, friend. I haven't got any spare cash. The Bank of the United States controls the flow of money in this country, and they've been mighty tight-fisted with it lately. You mean one bank can be that powerful? Why, it's as if they held the life and death of the country in their hands. That's about the size of it, Uzziah. My hands are tied. Hard times spread among small farmers and mechanics. Wages plunge downward. All right, man, I got jobs for 100 rail layers, but we can't pay more than $3 a month. Take it or leave it. I'll take it. I haven't worked in 6 months. The Bank of the United States is operated by federal permission. In 1832, Congress renews the bank's charter. Jackson vetoes the bill. But, Mr. President, your veto will bankrupt the country. It's the bank that is ruining the country. It prints tons of money. The law says that all government money must be deposited in the bank. Yet the government cannot tax or regulate the bank itself. The bank holds the country at its mercy. No, gentlemen, I will not permit the American people to be controlled by moneylenders. My veto stands. The bank uses all of its powerful influence to defeat Jackson in the election of 1832. But Old Hickory is returned to office with a thumping majority. The people have spoken, sir. They are behind you all the way. I hope I deserve their confidence, Matty. Jackson's re-election means the end for the bank. But as the bank begins to dissolve, businessmen become frightened. At the end of Jackson's second term, the country is in another depression. There's little I can do to solve the crisis. My term is almost over. But you could help a lot, Van Buren, if you'd consent to run for the presidency. Mr. President, if the people want me, I will serve. Van Buren is elected, but at his inauguration, the cheering crowds prove that no one can replace Old Hickory in their hearts. Hurrah for Andy! Jackson retired to the Hermitage, the Tennessee farm where he lived out the rest of his life, interested in his country's welfare to the last. Jackson died in 1845, the most beloved president since Thomas Jefferson.